Travel with me, won't you? To the distant year of 1997. 5th edition had just been released, and the journey of the Weatherlight's crew continued in a way that was generously described as progression. A new product hit the shelves that year as well. A product meant to excite the casual player to the pro scene. A product meant to honor and celebrate the champions of that year's biggest Magic competition. That's when Wizards of the Coast released the first 4 World Championship decks. World Championship decks were prepackaged proxy decks of 4 of the top-ranked decks used during the Magic World Championships. In other words, they are reprints of the top pro decks played at that year's World Championships. The decks were entirely non-legal proxies, meant for casual fun and practice only. The cards had gold borders and different backs to ensure no one could use them for play. Released from 1997 all the way through 2004, World Championship decks were eventually discontinued in favor of the highly popular Fat Packs. But I want to take a detailed look at this product and see what it was all about. First and foremost, these decks are a great celebration of their respective champion. Not only is each card gold bordered, but each and every card is stamped with the autographs of the pro who brought that deck all the way to the finals of the championships. Now, I've never been an avid follower of the pro scene, but I do admire the symbolic accolades of these decks. The signature is a really lovely touch, one that gets even a casual like me interested in the players who piloted these decks to victory. Each competitor's release included their 60-card deck and 15-card sideboard, 12 blank proxy cards, and cards with a printed deck list, a biography of the player, and an overview of the 4 decks released for their respective year. Championship decks can still be found online for prices ranging an average of about $30, although their numbers are dwindling, and those decks, which have things like Force of Will proxies, are fast being bought up, marked up, or just stripped and sold for parts, which is a real shame. So why are these decks being bought up if the cards aren't even tournament legal? A big reason is that people love them for their cubes. Just by itself, the gold border and signature can be a kind of bling for many cube owners. And in another case, getting anything from a Force of Will to a Wasteland to a Rishton Port, it can be just the more economical way to go about it. I myself am guilty of this, probably for both reasons. I really love having a few of these in my cube. But the thing I love most about these World Championship decks is the fact that they are meant to be played. What a thrill to be able to sit down and play a champion's deck against the decks of other champions from that year's top 8 of Worlds. Sure, you can always proxy decks yourself, but there's something to having these bright, vivid colors of what are essentially real Magic cards. The same size, the same art, the same paper. It's as real as a proxy gets, I guess. An unofficial, official proxy, if you will. I don't know. Nonetheless, I cannot recommend enough that you keep an eye out for these. A lot of them are still sitting around at your local game store, sometimes at garage sales, or for very low prices on eBay. And I also suggest that if you buy 2 of them, you buy 2 from the same championship so that they play really perfectly against each other. In a weird way, these are kind of the real dual decks right here. Imagine if instead of dual decks as they currently exist, you got 2 of the decks from the most recent World Championships game. Real cards, though, not proxies. I always complain that the decks in dual decks aren't real Magic decks, not like you'd see at any type of tournament or event. So now, with this idea, they'd be 2 decks from the greatest of events, and they'd be assured to have cards that are in need of reprinting because usually those top decks are filled with overly expensive cards. Maybe that's a foolish idea of an old man who remembers the fun and excitement of these championship decks from 1997. Ah well, but you know what? I think it's time that Randy Buehler and Ben Rubin battled against each other once more. Honey, you want to get a game? I get to be Randy Buehler, though.
No, I called Randy Buehler.
You always get to be Randy Buehler. No fair. And this video has been brought to you by the generous support of patron alums at Patreon, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.